One man hoarded every coin and died miserable. Another spent every coin and died broke. Only one understood balance. In a mountain village where merchants traveled through on their way to distant cities, 3 brothers each received 100 gold coins from their father. Same amount, same opportunity, same choice about how to use it. 20 years later, one brother was wealthy and happy. One was rich but miserable, and one was completely broke. The difference? How tightly they held their money. The first brother's name was Nasser. The moment Nasser got his 100 coins, fear gripped him. He thought, what if I lose this? What if something bad happens? I need to protect every single coin. Nasser became obsessed with saving. He wouldn't spend money on anything unless it was absolutely necessary. And even then, he'd hesitate. His roof leaked. He didn't fix it because that would cost 5 coins. So water dripped into his house every time it rained, slowly damaging everything inside. His shoes had holes. He didn't buy new ones because that would cost 3 coins. So his feet got wet and cold, and he kept getting sick. People invited him to gatherings and celebrations. He never went because it might cost a coin or 2 for a gift or food. So he had no friends, no connections, no relationships. Nasser thought he was being smart. He thought saving every coin meant he was building wealth. But he wasn't building anything. He was just holding on. 20 years passed. Nasser still had most of his 100 coins. He'd barely spent anything, but his house was falling apart. His health was terrible. He had no friends, no joy, no life. He was rich on paper, but poor in everything that mattered. Nasser died alone, clutching his coins, having never lived at all. The second brother's name was Walid. When Walid got his 100 coins, he felt free. He thought, money is meant to be enjoyed. Life is short. I should spend this and have fun. Walid went to the market and started buying new clothes that he didn't really need, fancy food that he couldn't finish, gifts for people to make them like him, entertainment every night, anything that caught his eye. The first month, Walid spent 30 coins. The second month, another 20. He told himself he'd slow down later, but later never came. Within 2 years, all 100 coins were gone. Every single one. Spent on things he couldn't even remember. Things that gave him a moment of pleasure and then disappeared. Now Walid had nothing. No savings. No investments. No plan. He had to work harder than ever just to survive. And when emergencies came, he had no money to handle them. His daughter got sick. He couldn't afford medicine. His business opportunity appeared. He couldn't afford to invest. His roof needed repair. He couldn't afford to fix it. Walid spent 20 years struggling, working harder than everyone else, and barely getting by. He had enjoyed himself for 2 years and paid for it with 18 years of stress. The third brother's name was Tariq. When Tariq got his 100 coins, he thought carefully. He asked himself, how do I use this money to live well and grow wealth? Tariq didn't hoard like Nasser, and he didn't waste like Walid. He found balance. He spent 20 coins fixing his house properly. A good roof, strong walls, a comfortable place to live. This protected his health and saved him money long term. He spent 10 coins on quality clothes and shoes. Not the cheapest, not the most expensive, just good ones that would last years instead of months. He spent 5 coins building relationships, attending important gatherings, giving thoughtful gifts, creating connections with people who mattered. But he also invested. He took 50 coins and bought tools for a small business. He used 10 coins to learn new skills. He kept 5 coins as emergency savings. Tariq lived comfortably, but not wastefully. He enjoyed life but didn't throw money away. He saved, but not so much that he stopped living. Within 5 years, Tariq's business was making steady income. He reinvested profits. He grew slowly but consistently. He maintained his relationships, his health, and his happiness. 20 years later, Tariq was the wealthiest of the 3 brothers. But more importantly, he was happy. He had friends. He had health. He had a life worth living. And he had money that kept growing. One day, near the end of their lives, all 3 brothers met. Nasser looked sick and lonely, still clutching his remaining coins. Walid looked exhausted and broke, working just to eat. Tariq looked healthy and content, surrounded by family. Nasser looked at Tariq and said, "I saved more than you. Why am I not wealthier?" Tariq replied, "Because you held your money so tight you strangled your own life. You saved coins but lost everything else." Walid said, "I enjoyed my money more than both of you. Why am I suffering now?" Tariq replied, "Because you spent without thinking. You enjoyed today and destroyed tomorrow." Then Tariq explained, "Wealth isn't about holding everything or spending everything. It's about balance." Nasser walked a tightrope and leaned too far toward fear. Walid walked the same rope and leaned too far toward pleasure. Both of you fell. I walked the middle. I spent on things that mattered. I saved for things that helped me grow. I invested in my future without forgetting to live in my present. Here's what most people get wrong about money. They think there are only 2 choices: save everything or spend everything, hoard or waste. But both extremes lead to failure. Nasser represents people who are too afraid to spend. They save every penny, refuse to invest in themselves, and end up with money but no life. They're so scared of being poor that they make themselves miserable. These people won't fix their car because it costs money, so they spend even more on constant repairs. They won't invest in education because it's expensive, so they stay stuck in low-paying jobs. They save money but lose opportunities. Walid represents people who spend without thinking. They live for today and ignore tomorrow. They buy things they don't need with money they don't have. And when the future arrives, they're broke and panicking. These people treat every paycheck like it's meant to be spent. They have no emergency fund, no investments, no plan. Just constant spending and constant stress. Tariq represents the people who win. They understand that money is a tool, not a prison or a toy. They spend on things that improve their life and invest in things that grow their wealth. They walk the tightrope with balance. Think about your own life. Are you too tight with money? Are you refusing to spend on things that actually matter? Are you so afraid of losing that you're not living? Or are you to lose? Are you spending on everything that feels good without thinking about tomorrow? Are you enjoying today while destroying your future? The answer isn't to pick a side. It's to find balance. Spend on what matters. Save for what's coming. Invest in what grows. Live now, but don't kill later. Nasser held to tight and died miserable. Waleed spent to loose and died broke. Tariq found balance and lived wealthy. Walking the tightrope means not falling to either side. Hold money when you need to. Spend it when it makes sense. Balance today with tomorrow. That's how you build wealth and actually enjoy it. Subscribe for more wealth parables.